Maura Flannery. All right, so our next talk is from Maura Flannery from St. John's University, and it's entitled A Juniper in a Carolina Forest. Maura?
Thank you. This specimen, excuse me, my voice does this. This specimen is at the A.C. Moore Herbarium, which is at the University of South Carolina in Columbia, which is the largest collection of South Carolina plants in the state. I taught for many, I'm sorry, I really tried not for my throat to do this, but I'm just going to keep going and drive you crazy. I taught for many years in New York, and 3 years ago I moved to South Carolina. I am not a botanist, but I have become obsessed with herbaria, and I volunteer in the A.C. Moore Herbarium now. And one of their best historic, or their best historical collection are the specimens of Henry Ravenel, who was a 19th century South Carolina botanist, originally born in the Low Country. And then in middle age, he moved to Aiken, South Carolina, which is up in the northwest corner, not close to the ocean at all. And it happens to be the town where I now live. And he collected this specimen in September of 1869 in a forest. And what he describes, this spot is a virgin forest of pine, oak, etc. And there are no signs of clearing or former cultivation by which their introduction may be traced to hand of man. Strange that the alpine form of a tree, this is Juniperus communis, which grows 1,000 miles north, should be found here. So this is a species that the southern range for which is usually New Jersey. And there were several of these trees growing there, and they are still growing there today. What he saw as a virgin forest became a fox hunting milieu when the northern, they became a northern colony for winter colony, Aiken did. And so rich people bought up all the land after the Civil War, and so 2,100 acres are now what's called Hitchcock Woods, and it is one of the largest urban forests in the country. And so there are several reasons I chose this specimen. And one is, like me, it's out of its original milieu. It's farther south than it should be. Also, it says something about what Ravenel was doing at the time, which was that he was collecting plants to sell them. This is 1869, and he had a plantation, but after the Civil War, he had no money and to support himself and his large family. So he had always been interested in botany, had specialized in fungi, but then became more of a generalist in order to make some money. And he had he was well respected among botanists, and an indication of that is the pamphlet that's on junipers that's attached to the specimen. And it's it was written by George Engelman, and there's an inscription on it to H. Ravenel from the author. So Engelman was one of many people, including Torrey and Gray and Edward Tuckerman, that he was involved with. Do I have any more time? well, I'll just keep going.
You have about a half a minute, sorry.
Okay, great. That's perfect. And the last thing that I want to say is one northern botanist named Thomas Mann in Philadelphia, whom he was in touch with, sent him a loan of $50 so he could start a nursery business, which didn't make it. But and he told him it was a loan he didn't consider it had to be repaid. So that was something about the spirit between the North and the South after the war. And thank you very much for listening to this.
Well, thank you. Excellent presentation.